The only former governor in Nigeria who did not accept a landed property during his administration as a governor. Mr. P2B is the most talked about politician in Nigeria. You can't hate this man, no matter how you pretend to hate him. After his tenure as the governor of Anambra State for 8 years, P2B refused to collect the pension. Today, this issue of pension by the former governors is now trending, and people are beginning to know the corruption in that office of governors. When he was campaigning for the office of the president, the Arise News Morning Show invited him to interview him about his own opinion concerning the pension for the former governors, why he's not taking pension. This is what Mr. P2B said.
So what would you say your stance then is when it comes to the pension laws? Are you for or against? How do you feel state governments should go about it? Do you think the Zamfara example is a model that other states should follow? Do you think ex-governors should be paying their pensions back?
Completely. If you finish, you just go home. So pension, my worry is not whether governors are paid. You know, looking at what you just said now, 700 million naira a year. Is it for
in some states?
Is it for just one person?
One person.
700 million naira. My worry is, and it's the morally, but then by the same, is that let me just give you an example of what happened to me within 6 months of being in office. After I just sworn in as the governor, one day my head of service of the government, Mrs. Melifon, walked in and said to me, I want you to, there's one of their best civil servants. She's reached the rank of a director. As you know, permanent secretary is more of political appointment, so director is the highest rank you can reach. She's retiring today as the director. And Your Excellency, all I want is for you to say thank you to this woman. She's exceptional. And she walked in and said, I said, Miss Ifan, how are you? He said, as I was just greeting her and trying to talk to her, the commissioner, the then commissioner for lands walked in and said to me, Your Excellency, I have this land that we're just about to, we just discovered a very nice land. This is about 2,000 something square meters. And I think we need to, in our land allocation, this is the first land we want to give, and want to give it to you.
To the governor? To
give it to me, the governor. And I turned to this woman, I said, what is your gratuity? And that you're living today. It's about 3 million. How long have you worked for government? It's exactly 35 years. I said, what is your pension? It's about 45,000-50,000 a month. And I said, have you been given, what is the gifts? What have they given you and everything and all that? And he said to me, nothing. I have very innocently, nothing. No. I said, so you haven't been given any land, you haven't given anything like that. He said, land? And I said, Commissioner, this is a woman that needs land. I've just been in this job less than 1 year. This person has been here 35 years. Mrs. C. Ford and Mrs. Vicky Ford, I don't forget her name. I said, this woman, she's been here for 35 years. And I'm here less than 1 year. So please, since you said it's mine, give it to this woman.
Amazing.
I said, this woman, madam, they said you are very good. You won't go. You become a special assistant in my office. And you will be here till I go. And your job is to continue to be as good as you are. Because she was just looking young and everything. I said, you're very young, you're looking young, you're this. He said, but I've served for 35 years. I have to go. So I said, give this woman this land. Forget about me. So, remember, you have somebody who has worked for 35 years, going home on 50,000 a month. And somebody, I don't want to say came from nowhere, like me, put in 4 years, and he's taking 500 million a year. So this woman in 1 year will earn 600,000, and I will earn 500 million. He's not even taking 1% of that. That is my own worry. So it's not how much you pay a retired university professor a month. Maybe about 200, 300,000. How much do you pay this for you to be a professor in a university? You must have spent 15 years, 20 years to become. So you can go on and on. How much do you pay other people who have worked so hard?
So what would you say your stance then is when it comes to the pension laws? Are you for or against? How do you feel state governments should go about it? Do you think the Zamfara example is a model that other states should follow? Do you think ex-governors should be paying their pensions back?
Completely. If you finish, you just go home.
Yeah, but the principle of it, because I think in one state, is it Delta State?
When we talk about the gap, inequality, Nigerian inequality is the worst. 157 over 157. Because you now have a situation where 1% of the richest Nigerians are controlling almost 80% of the entire resources of the country.
Yes.
And this is the problem. When somebody takes 400, 700 million a year, let me tell you, when I was in office, the entire monthly pension of civil servants in Anambra State is about 180 million or thereabout. 150 to 180 million. Use an average of about 150 or 180 million is about 2 billion. And you're paying one person almost a third of that. So if you have 3 of them, they earn same amount that the entire service. Thank you.
If somebody, I mean, you have.
When the current governor of Abia State, Mr. Andex Oti, assumed office as the governor of Abia State, he told the Abians that he is going to replicate what P2B did in Anambra State. And as you can see, everybody in Nigeria is talking about this governor, and so many citizens of various states are telling their governors to emulate Andex Oti because of the development and the policies he is carrying out in Abia State. This is one of the most painful things that Nigerians are realizing now, that they have missed the opportunity of this man called Peter Obi. Just imagine if Peter Obi is now the president of Nigeria. Everything we are seeing in Abia State, the policies, the cutting down of the cost of governance and so on and so forth, that is just the thing we ought to be seeing in Nigeria. Not the inflation, not the insecurity and so on and so forth. Because I have come to realize that development, stops insecurity in every part of the world. If a country is developing their human resources and also in infrastructures and so on and so forth, you will see that insecurity will reduce in that state. Let me use Abia State as an example. When you talk about insecurity now in Abia State, before Andex Oti, there have been a lot of things going on. Even in one of the outside market where they sell cattle, they discover, corpses, the bones, the skeletons of human beings there. This happened because there was no development there. But in the assumption of this governor, Andex Oti, he makes sure that he brings development to the people, and so many things were unraveled. And as you can see, Abia State today, everybody wants to go to Abia State, not just because of the electricity, the good road, but the energy. There is a new energy in that Abia State. That is what it means to have a good politician in the office.